in my veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost.
Welcome back to the channel. As you see, we have the car back over in the fab shop and everything. So thank you guys for subscribing. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and all of that fun stuff. Do the YouTube hokey pokey where you put your right hand in and your left hand in, and then you hit like, subscribe, and share. But let's go ahead, catch up with Pop and see what he's doing on this front end and kind of what else has been going on. So Dad's over here kind of getting the front end mounted and trimmed. What have you been working on, and what have you been seeing with this? What are we working with here?
Fiberglass, real lightweight fiberglass made by VFN, and we're mounting the front end on. They're trying to get all the body lines together, get it matched up to the doors and all that stuff. And the best I can say for anybody who wants to do this yourself, take your time. Do not sit there and just cut a whole bunch and then, you know, have to add to it. You can always take a little bit off here and there. So the tools that you're going to need: belt sander, cutting wheel.
What kind of belt sander are you using when you say belt sander?
Just a little body belt sander.
Okay, a body
like
sander.
that.
Okay.
Little body belt sander.
I was just making sure so that people weren't grabbing a big belt sander.
No. Tape. Tape is going to be your friend. Clecos are going to be your friend. If you don't know what a Cleco is,
Yeah, show us what a Cleco is real quick.
what you do is you drill a hole through whatever you want to hold together, 1/8 inch, and then these little things, they pop in and pop out like that, and they hold everything together.
So you can basically use that to hold it in place instead of using a rivet until you're ready to make it permanent.
Absolutely correct.
Cool. Well, if you guys see inside here, before we got this over, Dad went and he got new firewall stuff put in over here. We actually were able to save the firewall on this side. We just have a couple small holes that we were going to fill in. Makes it a little bit easier. We did not bead roll this. I'm not a fan of the bead roll on there. Dad kind of likes it, but at the same time, I like it where it's nice and smooth. So we kind of just went with that. Saved a little bit of time because we have a ton of work to do. If we walk around over here, you can see we built already in there the stands and everything to hold the front end up. And let's kind of look from the side here and show us the body lines, kind of what you're trying to get here.
Okay, so what I want to do here is get a nice crisp body line to match the door. Make sure that the lines here and the line right here match up, okay? And then it goes on nice and easy. And as you can see up here on the top,
we've got a little bit more work to do up there.
Got a little bit more work to do up here to get it to fit right. And then we're going to take and smooth all this stuff out down here to get a consistent body gap.
So that's a scratch there. So if you move this real quick, Pop, forward, there's a little bit of a lip here. And that's what we're trying to do, is just get it to sit flush with that, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And then we want to just make sure that the body lines are, that we've got the right gaps in there and all that stuff, so it looks good.
You were saying there's going to be a little bit of work to do on the hood too on this. What's your plans with the hood?
Well, we're going to mold the hood to the front end.
So we're going to have it as a one-piece front end.
Correct.
Okay. Well, we'll definitely show that when we get there. But pretty cool little what we're getting done here. Hopefully, once we get this kind of all mounted up and set where it can be taken off, we should be doing some welding up on the firewall, get that done, and get the engine in, and hopefully we get some turbos mounted up here pretty quick. So I'm back. I had to go do another holiday family deal there. Pops is here and he's been working away. Let's take a look. He's gotten quite a bit done. We actually have the car up in the air. So hey, Pop.
Hey,
show us what you did.
What we did is basically I had to take the front end and get it over here. I know that we showed it last time, but I got the body lines all lined up and everything. Made sure that by running a piece of tape from the back of the door to the front of the clip here. And what that does is that just gives me a straight body line.
Okay.
That's how I can verify that it's straight. So we got all that taken care of. Then we started going, okay, now we got to attach it. Time to start making the Christmas tree.
Get underneath here, take a look at what you did.
So you had already made this piece, the main bar coming across.
Yeah, let's take a look. So this we made, this is the main bar that comes across right here. This is the one we just finished welding, but I made these brackets right here for it to sit on. You can order these brackets through a bunch of places, but we have a mill and all this stuff here, so we did it ourselves.
So what I've done now is I'm starting to put the Christmas trees up on here as far as, you know, bracing everything. I still have a little bit more to do.
When you say the tree, what exactly is the tree that you're talking about?
When you remove the front end of the car, you've got this support piece right here that actually holds the front end down.
So it's this support tree?
It's a support tree. Now there's going to be a couple more rods going up here because I've got to run it up to support the top of the front end also.
So you'll have them, can you kind of point to where they're going to go?
Yeah, I'm probably going to have them right up at the top here. Okay. So it's going to come straight up here.
Okay, and then I think...
And on the other side, same thing.
Then did we run one under the headlights before, I thought?
We did. I don't know if I'm going to run one under there this time or not. We'll take a look and see how sturdy it is once I get those other two put up there.
Okay, so once we do the tree, what's going to be next after that?
Well, that's where you and I have been talking, and now I'm getting ready to go do my thing. You're going to make the Zeus brackets.
Okay, yep.
To hold, they're going to go on back over here. And this is what's going to hold the back of the front end. And I know, Greg, you're going to be making Zeus brackets for here, for up there, and up by the windshield.
Yep. So guys,
that's next.
So this year we're going to run 2 Zeuses down here. We're only going to run a single up there, and then we're going to run one up at the top. Now, if we have the exhaust coming through here for the turbos, we may have to run 2 more, and we'll leave this clip on. Hopefully we don't have to do that. It's nice to be able to get that out of the way when you're working on the car, but that's what I'm gonna go work on now. Okay, well no, the front end's looking good. We're gonna put this down on the ground here in a little bit and show some shots of it kind of on the car though, but no, it's looking awesome. If you guys haven't seen under the car with it all apart, this is what it looks like. That's a mock-up block that we have in here coming across. Everything is apart. Normally a transmission's right here, and there's supposed to be like a seat, and sometimes I drive in there, and you get all this in there. So we've got a lot left to do, but we have a lot that's still happening for us. So we've got time, but time is also of the essence when you have this much work to do. Yes. So let's get over on the fab table, and I'll show you guys what we're doing for the Zeus clips. So over here at the fab table, like Pop said, we were working on the front end over there, and I have to make some Zeus brackets. Made these before, but they were kind of in a prefab kit. I just didn't want to buy them this time, so I'm going to make them myself. These are the tabs that we are going to be using. They do not have the spring in them yet. We will be putting those in, but that's what they look like. These are 1.5 inches wide. So we need to make a jig because it has to come down and make a loop to put the tabs in there. And then that loop, then the 2 fingers, we'll say, attached to the frame. And we will then, we triangulate it back so that way it has some sturdiness to it. But I have to make that loop first. Since this is 1.5 inches, I need something to wrap it around it. And on our fixture table that we have here, this is used for many things to hold tubes. I actually will also use it upside down underneath a clamp to hold a tube in place from rolling around, things like that. But I have one that I mounted in here because these are 1.5 inches wide. So I'm going to use some clamps here, and we're going to make a little bit of a fixture to be able to bend around that, use some heat, and make that so that way we can kind of get things tigged on there. So the lower brackets that we have to make have to be about 15 inches long. That's giving us a little bit of extra room to cut things off and move things around on there. So that's going to be down and back. For that, that's going to be 30 inches, and then we still have to make sure we have room in the bend. Since this is 1.5 inches diameter, we can do the math on there, but we basically need right about 3 inches of extra room in the bend on there. So we have to cut some tube at 33 inches. I've got a big stick of it here, and all we are using, this is chromoly tube. This is, what size did we order? It is 1/4 inch by 0.35, so pretty thin. Not the thickest stuff in the world, but once we bend it up and get it welded on there, it'll be good. So let's go ahead. I'm going to measure this out. 2 pieces at 33, and we'll get it bent around and start tacking those up. Then we'll have to drop the car down and get a measurement for the top piece so we can bend that one up as well. measured my 15 inches from one way, 15 inches the other, and then split the difference, which is our 1.5 inches, so we can try to get that towards the middle. Now, we did put a little bit of extra on there so we know we're gonna trim it, but I wanna try to get this as close to the middle as possible. How our jig is gonna work here, we're going to get it up into here. There we are. We have this clamp that's going to hold it in place, and this clamp is going to hold it down. We're going to heat it up, and then we're going to be able to bend it right around and try to get our nice radius and arc in that. So let's try it on this first one. Luckily, Pop bought a whole bunch of tubes, so if this one doesn't turn out, we're just going to shorten it up and use it on the top one. Take a look. See, we have a little bit of spring in there, so we know that's all right. And we'll be able to weld that right in there. Gonna have a little bit off. We might need to tighten that up a little bit, put a little bit more heat up in here, and just get a little bit more bend out of that, that little bit there. But that's gonna be really, really close, and that's what we're gonna need to do. Hey everybody, back on the next day. We've got the front end kind of mounted here. You saw I was just finishing up the Zeus panels, and then Dad came in this morning pretty early and finished up the tree in the front. So let's take a look at the tree up front here. Let's go in. So that's what he was kind of talking about. Try not to cover up the light. We have a bar coming up here, was the last one he did. And there's another bar, as you see right down there, coming forward, and then the one out here. This is the mounting system that I had come up with. I tried to show you guys on there. So that's going to be adjustable. There's actually 9 holes on that, so we can adjust it up and down if need be. Dad was working today.
You made the brackets and everything yesterday. So when I came in this morning, I saw them laying there. And I just decided to go ahead and start bending them up the way that we needed them and put them in place of where we need them. Now we still have another Zeus bracket. We've got 2 more that we need to put on. But they're going to be somewhere up over here, just to hold the front, or the, once I mold the hood on there, they'll be right up here on top also.
So the next thing that you're doing, you said you're going to be molding the hood and everything?
Correct. I'm going to have to trim it down and all that stuff, and then get it to fit on there correctly. Then a little bit of panel bond. We'll get some panel bond and put some panel bond on there, get everything molded in or tightened down, let it set, and then we'll start doing all the rest of the body work.
Oh, there you go. It's starting to look like a car again. A lot of room. We're going to be...
We just put the old windshield back in, so we've got a point of reference of where the hood needs to go. We're still waiting on our new windshield coming, so.
Once we have the front end completely done, we're going to take that engine mock-up block out of there, and I'm going to get in there and I have to TIG braze all this stuff in for the new firewall panels, fill in some small holes, and then after that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do some seam seal on it and get ready. We're actually going to use a Cerakote to coat everything in the front here once we have all the brackets put on, the turbos are mounted and everything like that. So pretty cool. It's starting to look like a car, and I'm getting kind of excited. So Dad's going to put the hood up on here and then just kind of take a couple looks. And since he's been here since early this morning, he's taken off. I'm going to keep working on a few things, keep progress going for the new year. So got the hood set on here. Not really fitting correct on there. Let's take a look. You can see it is, let's come around here. It's gonna need some trimming. Yeah, so we know we already had to trim the front end here to get it to fit, and we just had to get it set on here, see where everything's going to be. So we have it kind of lined up in the front, and we'll have to square it up and then see where we're gonna have to start trimming everything off on here. But that is gonna be the setup. It's similar to what we had before. It's gonna be just a Sunoco style hood with the front end, but Dad's gonna go ahead and take and make it a one piece. He did that before. I'll put a picture in here for when we raced at the No Prep Kings event, when we were coming back from having the turbo that had blown apart for the Street Car Showdown. So yep, that's gonna be the kind of what it's gonna look like. Obviously with twins, we are going to have side exits. We're not gonna have the hood exit. We are trying to figure out what we want to do right here for the exhaust. So if you have an idea of that, drop it in the comments below. Otherwise, yeah, we've been looking at some others of how they've got them set up like this, just trying to figure it out. Also trying to figure out what we want to do for a wrap on this. We know we're going to stay black and green, but we have a couple of different designs that we've drawn up. So let's put those here, and we'll number these 1, 2, 3, and 4, and put a comment right here on the YouTube. Which one do you like the best of there, of the 4 of them? So it's a long process, and we're putting in a lot of hours, but we're going to get this thing done and get it out for the beginning of 2023 here. So thank you guys very much for watching and subscribing. Make sure you go to the website, badinfluencegarage.com. Take a look. We've got some shirts and everything for sale on there. If you purchase anything there, that does pretty much go right back into the car, so we do appreciate it. Make sure you share this to your friends so they can kind of follow along. And until next time, guys, be safe out there.
Ice in my veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost.